myself a promise, I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up?
What up? I fixed it there. I got it. I checked it. We're ready to roll. Happy Monday to everybody. It's Pregaming here at Sports Money, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. You already know what we do up in here. We take all that late line movement information, all that cash flow analysis all day looking at the card. We do our best to come up with best bets to get us paid tonight. What a night we've got. Monday Night Football on deck. Can't wait. Woo! Eagles, man. Going to be an Eagles evening versus them Atlanta Falcons. The link is going to be buzzing. Also got ourselves a little Kelsey sighting. Kelsey's back in town with that Monday Night Football crew. Going to be a lot of fun to see what they have worked up in the production studio to go along and accompany that game. And we got ourselves some baseball as well. Not the biggest baseball card, but I'm pleasantly excited about the card that we have. Now we're going to start off. We've got a baseball parlay, 2 hitter props, 2 pitching props inside of there. Juicy. 20, I think it's around 26 or 27 to 1. Just 4 legs. That's all we're trying to get tonight is 4 legs. It's a smaller baseball card. It's not a full lineup, but man, baseball this time of year is tough. Trying to find out who's got what to play for, trying to figure out if there's any incentives on the line, trying to put it all together to come up with the best bets. We're going to tackle the Dodgers and Braves game. We've got the Tigers and the Royals, Oakland and the Cubs game, the White Sox and the Angels, Houston Astros, San Diego Padres, and of course, the NFL. Let's see what I've got for the NFL off the top of my head. I know there's a side in there. And a touchdown prop, 2-leg touchdown prop. That's going to be almost 5 to 1. So you have to hear me out and see what it's all about. Game script for all these games, all these spots that we try to evaluate to come up with these best bets. And I'm excited for the card. Lots and lots and lots of plus money spots out there, not just for the sake of plus money. Just, I think the value just is too great for us not to take advantage of firing away on some of these hammers. So that's what we're going to do. Now, we're not going to mess around with the 640 Twins and Guardians game. I kicked it around. I want to take the Twins. I see a ton of reverse movement against the Guardians. I just couldn't get there. So, about the plays that are in the books that we're trying to go out there and smash with. And I can talk to you guys about sides and totals and things like that. But here's what you're always going to get. You're always going to get my unbiased, the best I can be unbiased. But you're going to get honesty in terms of the opinion on the games. Look, I'm not a big fan of that. Oh, that's a good pick. Not if I don't think it's a good pick. Now, we can all win. We can all cash. We can all celebrate together. But let's be honest with each other in how we're attacking these games. You can tell me this play's bad, and this is the reason why. I'm all for it. And I'll read the comments because I love talking about the chat, love talking with the chat. I love seeing what you guys have out there. So you know the deal. If you're just getting in here, smash the thumbs up button for us. Need to grow this thing. Need to support this market now. Now that football has come around, it's so important that we bring in these new eyeballs, trying to give you guys all kinds of new stuff. And hopefully you've seen that this weekend. Now, we did some college football. We've done some NFL prop betting as well. We're going to get the schedule right. We're going to get the timing down so everybody's got a ton of time to go look and attack with those videos that are being put together for you guys. So they don't take a ton of time. Data doesn't lie. And data says you guys want quick hits. So that's what we're going to do for you. We're going to give you our best quick hitters that we can. and continue to grind. Now, there won't be any first strike this week because there's no UFC this weekend. So we're going to catch a little break there, but that's okay. That's okay because we've got plenty of action between the NFL, college football, Major League Baseball. I know there's soccer going on out there. I know my guy Subhuman wants to give a little Champions League video out there, so we're going to see about getting that tonight. Going to cut into my Monday Night Football viewing experience to give you guys some more winning plays. Appreciate you guys all rocking. Get the pen and paper ready. The best crew in the business. All you guys and girls in the chat. Y'all assemble here. It means a lot for me that you guys choose this location, this destination to come and share your best bets with. We've been marinating on the card all day long, and we're all looking at the scoreboard with the same hopes and vision of book bashing glory. That's what we want to do tonight, you guys. I think we're going to do it. I feel good about this card that we have in front of us and this Monday Night Football game. Boy, what a week it's been in the NFL. We've already seen some quarterbacks get the hook. We've already seen some extended injury status. The Niners, yikes. Christian McCaffrey's down and out for a good number of weeks. I just saw Cooper Kupp for the Rams. He's going to be down and out for a couple of weeks. It's going to be interesting to see what will transpire in week 3 of the NFL. I'm curious to see who's alive in the Survivor. I can look. Let me see if I can look really fast. We got time today. We're not dealing with this 6:40 game. We got a few minutes here. Let me see. I wasn't expecting to do this. Let me see. Friends picks. I got to do a little research. I don't want to. I got first and last names here. I don't want to call you guys out on the. It looks like quite a few of you are still alive. Let's see. We had Steelers picks. We've got some Eagles picks. Chargers picks. Lots of Chargers picks. Jaguars. Texans picks. Dallas Cowboys. Baltimore. All right. We're whittling down. Number 1 pick this week for the Survivor pool was the Baltimore Ravens. Now, your boy here was all about Baltimore losing this game. I just didn't expect him to lose outright. So that was a little bit of a surprise. And we got some work to do in college football. So it's going to be a busy week as always. But good news is we've got more time to put some content together for you guys to get winning plays. That's what it's all about. Speaking of winning plays, get them in the chat. Anybody that's new here, you want a pen and paper because these guys are ready. They are firing. And we want to talk about all the plays, all the butt rubbing, as some would say, that are going on in the chat. So let's get to work, you guys. Let's get busy. Like I said, we've got a parlay to kick off the card on our side here. And I don't believe there's anybody in the 6:40 game. So we're good until 7:10 in baseball. That means we got plenty of time. We got a lot of card to scrub through, but look, no need to keep you guys all night. Let's get into business. Let's go put those bets in. I just laid out an onslaught of bets. So I'm ready to go. I'm all stacked up. I'm all stacked up now. I'm ready. New week, new money. Let's get to work. And shout out to commenter numero uno. It's my guy, Joe T, coming in with you guys, giving the over and the Falcons and Eagles game over 45.5. Find all his plays in the community section of the YouTube page. It's free. Anybody's new here, not familiar with that, go on the YouTube Sports Money homepage, scroll on over, and you'll see community. Then when you click on that, you're going to see a couple different things. You'll see some polls. We'll try to do some polls to survey you guys between games you want to see, some fun stuff, and some who's going to win the game type of stuff. You know what? If we don't have time to get the videos out there, the boys are still putting a pen to paper, giving you guys their best looks as well. So if you haven't checked out that community tab, do in fact do that. It's definitely worth your time. Make sure your notifications are turned on because we drop content and want to make sure you guys see it. Typically it's, 10 o'clock at night. And typically that content is for usually 2 days out, 2 to 3 days out. So that's usually when you can expect it to get going. Busy days. Everyone's working, everyone's grinding, everyone's doing their thing, but we reassemble after we've had a chance to look at the card to give you guys that content. So keep your heads up. And Joe T continuing his war on unders with an over. An overplay. Man, I'll tell you what, Joe T. It pisses a lot of people off. Let me tell you that. Let me just tell you. They don't like them unders. Or they don't like them overs, I should say. Now, this week in the NFL, we saw the dogs. Last week was a huge favorite week. The biggest number of favorites won, I believe, since 1999. This week, it's pretty much flip-flopped and everything's been reset back to neutral. So as far as totals are concerned, though, we're almost at a dead split with prime time totals. In fact, I think it's like 2 and 3. I think it's 2 and 3 to the under. So that auto play and lay ain't the case this season with the NFL. Anyways, shout out to Joe T getting in there rocking. There's MJ Striker. Says, hope everyone had an awesome weekend. I did. I had a lot of fun this weekend. It was, the Bills play on Thursday and then the Eagles on Monday. It was kind of like, did a little shopping early yesterday. I came back. I watched some football. May have taken a little siesta. May have had a few cocktails. And now we're back and we're ready to grind. Shout out to Old E. Says, let's get this cash. There's my dude, Bo Jackson, a resident Toronto guru up there in the 6 checking in. There's Justin McKelvey. He says, stop it. Stop it, Justin McKelvey. Shout out to Perky. The bump man's in the house. Says, let's get after it. Needs a night. Wants the Dodgers money line. The Eagles -3. Took a whole 3 spot on them, boys. And longest field goal over 45.5. Indians money line. Also, I believe that's Guardians. Shout out to Dana Delt. And here's my dude, the mechanic, a.k.a. the wrench, a.k.a. smash that thumbs up button or he'll get you. And he says the Eagles smash. And man, when my boy's been on a smash run, he is smashing. So I'd love to see that. I'd love nothing more than just to watch this game be a fucking full-out rout. I wouldn't even mind if somebody rips off a Falcons helmet and fucking beats him with it. That's the kind of game I want to see tonight in the link on Monday Night Football. That's right. I'm fired up. Let's go. Dana Delp says, hit the like button. There's my dude, Johnny C. in the house. Says, that's a real F your under, Joe T. Respect. Shout out to David Wallace. Skunt Blasters in the house. Here we go. Gerald Jones likes that Arizona-Colorado over 11. Man. First cut for the card for me, Gerald Jones. First cut for me because I love Arizona to smash the shit out of these guys. I just don't know. Can Colorado? We're going to need Colorado to get like 3 there. We need Colorado to probably get 3 to get over that number, like a 9-3 type of spot. Shout out to Trans Canada. I came to this channel for curling bets. I'll start making some curling bets. We'll do them on the side for some fun. I don't even know where I'd begin. Trans Canada, but I'd love to make some curling bets with you guys, man. Let's go. If we can get some cash on it, why the F not? Shout out to Rob McMahon in the house. Here's Juggler 23 back and ready to attack. NFL trend for tonight. Since 2021, Monday Night Football games where the spread is less than 7 and the total is 40. The under is 36 to over 40. Over 40. Let me try that again. Spreads less than a touchdown. Totals over 40 points. 36 and 1 to the under. Big under spot. Big under. Can't wait to talk to you guys about that game. Shout out to Gonzo. Back from vacay. Says, let's go Eagles. Man, dude, it's great having you back. We missed you. But I'm sure you had a great time. Curious to hear how Cozumel worked out, my dude. Appreciate you always rocking with us, brother. Welcome back. Glad you made it home safely. And I hope you got some fun stories to tell us. Let's go talk sports with JT. Says he likes Pitts over 39.5 receiving yards and Hurts under 39.5 rushing yards. Okay. Talk sports with JT. I see you, my dude. Man, I'll tell you what, we gotta figure out. Maybe we find a way to get like a nice little same game show parlay in there. Like I got to figure out the voting buttons out there. If I can get the voting buttons down, we can have some fun with a little same game parlay with you guys here and see if we can't figure this thing out. GM3 in the house says, I've seen a stat that the majority of the money and the bets are on the Eagles Falcons under. Do you have access to accurate splits on this? I think I do. Now, what I'll say is this. The key is the same thing every single time. right? So, free tools will say one thing. Pay tools might say something else. I think as long as you're using the same tool every single time, I think that'll make it work. So, GM3. I love it. Let's go. Juggler 23's got some White Sox Angels Nerfy minus 125. Heritage Sports seems like a great value opportunity in his opinion. I'll tell you this, the Angels are an 11-1 to the under spot today. 11-1 to the under. Big time under trend, and that team is not doing well lately. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about them shortly. Philly Eagle Flyer. Best name in the business. Also says trying to middle this game. Eagles money line under 51.5 and Falcons plus 7.5 over 39.5. Jeez. Phew. Interesting. Close game. I can see it being a close game. I'll tell you what. We'll get to it. David Wallace says, I'm out. Baltimore don't take the big favorite. I know, dude. Listen. Cincinnati Bengals got me last week. Nasty Nate's got the Eagles. Tech B says, what's up, Big Mike? The NFL is like a war zone. Major players are going down with a lot of money in their pocket. Not a bad way to live. Not at all. I'll tell you what, a little fantasy maneuver too. We won't talk about fantasy teams, and it depends on the way your draft order works, right? But like ours is snake draft. And then if you don't use it, you continue to hang on to it and it'll advance up as the guys in front of you continue to use their draft picks. But everybody rushes in that first week. The first week, they're dropping players, picking players up. Now they're in the bottom of the waiver order. We all know week 2 is the overreaction week. What are you doing? Stop it. Give yourself a week or two. But you don't like the team you drafted? That's a different story. But to be going out there using waiver order picks in week 1 was crazy because look at all the big injuries that are out there now. We got Pacheco. Here we go. Pacheco's out 6 to 8 weeks and placed on the IR. Man, it is definitely a battle zone, a war zone out there. Excellent call, Tarek B. Coins in the house. Philly Eagle Flyer likes the Cubs plus 180, the Cars plus 140, the Angels plus 154, all tied after 2 innings. There's my dude, Keith. Each every stride's in the house. Markel's in the house. RBD says, what's up, Mikey? Under reigns supreme in the NFL for the next couple of weeks. All those injuries. I like it. Keith wants to have a Monday. Let's go. Markel says no diddy. Big Worm. What's up, Big Worm in the house? Says he likes the Mets first 5 -1/2. Cleveland, Minnesota, Nerfy. Let's get this cash, baby. Let's do that. Winner's Circle. Hey, yo. He wants Skeens in the over 6.5 case. I like that play. Certainly can't. Despite Pittsburgh being in the shitter, Skeens don't matter. Skeens living his best life right now, huh? He's playing on a team with no pressure. He's got a smoke show. And a bunch of money in his pocket. Shit. I want to be Skeens in my next life. Let's go. KV's in the house. This is Pittsburgh lead first 5 innings -107. Mets -1, -136. Mets -1.5. Is that the run line too? -1.5 on the run line too. Remos says, fuck is over 45.5 bet and stake bet him, Mikey, for the under, huh, Rem? Rem most thinks it's under time. Under. Let's go. Joe T says Thursday should have gone over, and last I figured it was an under. Yeah, I mean, look, we take good bets, or we'll take good breaks because we take bad breaks. So if you were on the under on Thursday, just do yourself a favor. The gambling gods are super fickle. Don't go celebrating like you just won the fucking Super Bowl. It's not a good look. It's just not a good look. Damn it. Let's go. Philly Eagle Flyer, Royals, tied after second inning. Where do you find those bets? I think I heard Ramon asking that earlier today. I'm going to get down on some of that action here, especially as we get closer. I love the plus money spots. I mean, shit, if you go 1-1, you're up money, right? 1-1, you're up money. If you find a nice pitching matchup that you think could make that happen. Justin McKelvey says, stop it. You started it, Justin. Shout out to my dude. Stacks, the POD. We're waiting for the stacks of dog shit POD, the -190 or higher. Right, Justin? I don't know. I'm working on the name. I'm working on the name for you, dude. I'm working on the name. Let's go. KV says Mets 8-2. Straight up series. Often cover the run line. You guys know the deal. She's even gone on Twitter to let us know what that means out there. And I love the strategy. I love having a strategy on the regular. And that's what Kelly V has been doing for us when she comes in here. Falcons out, right? Watch your mouth. Hey, man, I know I'm not going to tell you that there ain't a team worth of shit from Georgia. I'm not. I know that gets sensitive. I know it's sensitive. Oldie's going to get into it, though. Oldie's going to give it to you. Man, I love you guys. I get so jacked up getting in here, getting ready to go, prepping the card for you guys. Nobody takes it more serious than me. And it's funny, I was pacing around a little today. I was like, man, we got to start this week big. We got to come up with the right spots to get paid. Sharky says, vodka in the glass. Not yet, Sharky. That'd be a big glass of vodka. That feels like my Saturday. That feels how my Saturday went down. He says, vamos. Sharky. Let's go, my brother. Good to see you, Sharky. Thanks for coming in. Irish King says 3 touchdowns again. Barkley going to run all over him in the birdhouse. Dude, you know how loud it's going to be for him. As soon as he touches the ball and gets one going, he's going to get fun. I saw him in the preseason, and he was talking about how he was jacked up, that it was a preseason game, and the fans, he said he couldn't even hear anybody on the field because it was so loud. Gonzo's with Joe T on the over. He says his model has it going over. Justin. We're an Eagles family in here, Justin. You know, we're an Eagles family in here. Well, probably not. I don't want to speak for anybody. I know a lot of people. I've been getting messages all day today. It's me versus you. I don't even know how somebody could send me a message and say it's me versus you. I didn't make a bet yet. Well, now I have. David Waltz. Will Barkley and Robinson combine for 130 plus rushing yards? DK boost to plus 100. It's interesting. I'm going to talk to you guys about that. We're going to get into it. Let's get going. NFL. Kelly V. Philly, only way to look. Live opportunity. Team total over for Philadelphia. Boy, oh boy. Moonshine. When I go on my friend's trip to north of the border, they literally just walking around slamming moonshine out of a fucking mason jar. Makes me want to throw up, but I respect it. I just, 3-4 days in the Canadian wilderness slamming down moonshine gets the back of my neck hairs standing up. They're not the hairs on the top, the ones on the back of the neck. Let's go, you guys. We got Dougie Wise in the house. Falcons plus 5. Joe T says he took the over last night. Check out the community tab. Let's go. Sharky says, big Monday night out for me. Let's go. Philly, Irish King likes the Phillies. Philadelphia. I'll tell you what, I've been struggling to transition between the two, college football, NFL, Major League Baseball. Now they're stirring company. Barkley over rushing yards and touchdown. Jalen Carter. Man, we gotta get going. We gotta go. Dougie Wise. Falcons plus 210 money line. Okay. All right. Redbeard he already said the Eagles are going to smash. Man, look at you guys. Look at all this. Look what you did, Justin. Look at all of this Falcons love you're getting, my dude. Dougie Wise is with you. Kelly V says KC Arizona moneyline parlay pieces. KC, good first home game of a series. Arizona 8-2 straight up versus Colorado. Parlay Pirates in that parlay. Okay. Let's go. Let's get her moving. Talk sports with JT. Two-man parlay. Barkley under 77.5 rushing yards. London over. I like that one a lot. Talk sports with JT. I do. I'll tell you why I do shortly, but let's go. Sharky says third straight year Kirk Cousins plays week 2 primetime road in Philly. Trap God. Saquon to lead game in rushing minus 120. Wow. Let's go. Ramon Scott says Big Dom over 1.5 times shown during the game. Dude, Big Dom's the secret recipe. Everyone was talking about how they fell off the second half of the year. It was Big Dom that got suspended out there. Mind you, Kansas City, I believe, made some of the same maneuvers in week 1. No suspension. Okay, let's go. Let's get to work, you guys. Thank you all for coming in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Man, I don't know what the fuck. I can't get these my overlays lately. I've been on the fritz. I spent time with Spenny on Friday getting that NFL one ready to go for you guys. Here we go. Let's dig in. This is 28-1. I was off by just a little. And I think it's as glorious as it is because of, well, we'll talk about the numbers. I'm starting off 2 hitting props. I mentioned then there's going to be 2 pitching props as well. Just straightforward, right? We've been getting like 75. I believe we're at 74.5% attainment rate with these props individually, but we're falling just 1 short. So I was comfortable with dropping it down to 4 because it was so juicy today. And I had to start with Cody Bellinger on the RBI wagon here. Dude is a fucking beast right now. He's been out there smashing and bashing everything. We look at it and, we'll talk about the Cubs side in just a minute, but look at, you guys know the 7 and 14 day windows are so important when we're looking at these hitting props to try to catch that hot hand or ride that hot hand, or in this case, the hot bat. And nobody's been hotter than Cody Bellinger at 320 batting average. He's got a 1.113 OPS the last week as well. And he's back home. We started about the start of the season here. We talked about this. The Cubs at home, hot ballpark. Bats get rolling. Things get moving in the right direction for them. And I don't think that's going to change here with this game here. We've been successful with Cody Bellinger. We took some Cody Bellinger props against the Dodgers. Shout out to KV. I know she was looking at some of those as well. And this is a fade of Estes as much as it is a play on Cody Bellinger. Again, a 320 batting average the last 7 days. The guy's been smashing. He's seeing the ball very clearly. We're going to move on. The second leg actually should say Iglesias, not Iglesias. Who the hell's Iglesias? And Iglesias is maybe the second hottest batter in baseball in the last 7 days. Maybe. He's got 9 hits in 9 games. Firing right now. He's dominant. He plays for, by the way, Cody plays for the Cubs. Iglesias. He plays for the Mets. I said it. There you go. You guys know my disdain for Mets hitting props, but I like this one here. Over, it's 1.5 or 2+ hits, runs, and RBIs. Why? Well, I just mentioned he's got a hit in 9 straight games. He's dominating the Nats with a 366. He's got an 840 on base percentage. And he hits 380 at home. Lots to love. Plus, if you look at Irvin, right, we've talked about how these win-loss records and the ERA numbers kind of transpire. The guy's got a 4.20 ERA or 4.19 ERA, and he's 10-12. Very capable of letting up runs, and when they let those runs up, they lose the game. Now, he's a 3.94 ERA when he's on the road. He does have a 7-4 record, but look, I just kind of got this little, he's not really been a K guy, right? 5, 3, 6, 4, 5. Atlanta, he got 5 Ks. He went 6 innings. But prior to that, Irvin found himself in a 5-inning game, a 4-inning game, and another 5-inning game. So he did get 6 against the Phillies, but only 5 Ks as well. So lots of hits. 8 hits against Philly, 5 hits against Atlanta, 8 hits against the Cubs, 7 hits against the Pirates. And then, he was able to go out there and lock down the Atlanta Braves with 2. But when we take a ball of shit and he somehow gets shined up and looks real pretty, we like to tend to think they're going to go back to ball of shit status. And that's what I expect from Irvin in this game. I love you guys with those looks on the Nationals. I'm sorry, with the Mets side of things here. But I got to ride Iglesias. I got to give him one. I got to give the Mets. Okay, this is my final ultimatum to the Mets. Either you get me these hits, Iglesias, or the Mets can fuck right off into the sunset for the rest of the season. Is that fair? Iglesias, are you watching? Are you listening? I hope that's fair. Don't be a scumbag. Not today, Iglesias. Let's go on to the next guy in this process here. I'm looking at Savale. Yeah, I want me a little Savale fade here. Now, this one's an under 4.5 Ks. Kind of a similar deal. When we look at these Brewers, they're going out there against the fighting Phils. Now they're home. Get it. And they're 42-29 at home. But again, Savale, 4.57 ERA. It's 3.3 at home. But he's just 4-5. His last 7 days, he just came off a 5-inning game. 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, but only 2 Ks. And this is the thing that popped off to me for this guy. He's peaked. Just like I talked about, Irvin is peaked. Savale is in that same bucket right now. The Brewers are hanging on by a thread. They're maybe moving down. I ranked them 5 in the NL last week. Might be down to number 6 now. Maybe. But this dude's like a 4.5, 5 inning guy. 5 innings against San Francisco, 5 innings against St. Louis. Now, he did get a 7 spot that's previous San Francisco game. But the second time they see a team, the batters have a tendency to figure these guys out. It was very much that second time in a 2-week span, 1 series in between with the Cardinals. Overall, the scrub ball, 4 Ks against Cleveland, 3 Ks against Oakland. Those teams being relevant because they've been hitting. Those are hitting teams. Now, San Francisco, and he did get 7 Ks. He followed that up with 7 Ks against St. Louis, but his true colors came back to be with that San Francisco game out there. I'm looking to take this guy under his 4.5 Ks, and it's getting steamed. I don't like unders and Ks, but this one I did. Now, the last guy I flip-flopped. The last guy I was right there to take this under. And we'll talk about this game as a whole, but Spencer Arrighetti, wake the fuck up. He's got a 5.22 ERA on the road, but he's been playing a little bit better. 7 Ks his past game. He had 0 before that, but he also had 11 and 6 against Philadelphia and Cincinnati Reds. Now, the Reds aren't the same Reds team that they were to start the season off. There's no question about that. You can just see in their hitting effectiveness that they're just not there. But I like these numbers overall. And I think 4.5, the thing for me, again, is it's steaming. This is now steaming to the over 4.5. Maybe a little foreshadowing to the under in that Houston game. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if I can, what's it going to take to get you guys on that spot? Shout out to Joseph Alvarado in the house. Let's go. Chosen one. Let's get him in there as well. Good to see all you guys, man. Let's go. I see Voodoo Ranger in the house. Woo. This one's going to take me a second to digest. A 7-leg same-game parlay. Philly money line, the under 52. Barclay, over 30 receiving yards. I like that. I like the receiving yards for Barclay tonight. Under 19 carries. Bijan Robinson, 70-plus rushing yards. Hurts, under 20 completions. Hurts, 45-plus rushing yards. 50-1. Jeez. Add Koo for 2 field goals. That makes it 80-1. Woo! Let's go. We got some shout out to Ramon Scott. Love the morning steam. Let's keep up the good vibes. Let's do that, you guys. I love it. Everyone coming together. Positivity, trying to get paid. Transcandace is my ESPN girlfriend. Erin Dolan is from Philly and loves her Eagles. TransCanada, I'm sorry to say, during the WNBA season, it's Angel Reese. But once we're everywhere else, EKD is all me, buddy. Sorry. Joseph Alvarado says, Pimp, Dustin. Hey, Mikey, I don't like that it's Nick Foles' retirement ceremony tonight at the Link. It seems when we celebrate something pregame, we lose every damn time. Cameron says, what do we do with all this Marab money? Fuck Marab. That one hurt. First of my, that one hurt. Barclay, anytime touchdown for Sancho. There's a little minus 190. Or is it minus 150? Well, it sounds better at minus 150. I think it's minus 190. It's minus 190. KV says Wheeler goes tomorrow. And Cameron wants to back the fighting Phils here, but have not pulled the trigger. Sanchez says Houston money line the play. Ramon. Debo, man, what the hell's going on in San Francisco? Can't stay healthy? Can't stay healthy. Holy shit. Our resident team total whisperer is checking in. Shout out to Nutflush. And the Nutflush family says, what up, Mikey? He moved on the Mets. Team total over 4.5. You guys don't want to miss out. When Nutflush comes in and speaks, we all have to take notice And I'm curious if he agrees with my thought process on Irvin just being gassed at this point. That's kind of what I was thinking. Justin says -190. Everyone else can give him 190, but I try to give it out there. It's like, wait a minute, you can't give out -190s here. I don't understand. It's double standard. It's the way I say 190. Maybe it's the way I say -1. I don't say it that often. So let's go. Let's get to it, you guys. Baseball season is winding down. We're just a few short weeks away from the playoffs. And then by then, we are rolling in Red October is my expectation here. But I'm going to open this card up. I'm going to look at this Dodgers and Atlanta Braves game. You know the deal. We'll start with the bets and the cash. We're not just looking at bets and cash as an arbitrary reflection. We're looking for how the books react. So generally speaking, we look at percentage of bets. And that's kind of the whole package. That's every ticket that's been written. It's everything that goes into the suit. Parlays, teasers, player props, all the tickets that have been issued. And generally associated with kind of more of the, where's the public? Where are the percentage of bets are the public? We look at the cash and we say, okay, generally the cash, not necessarily parlays, props, and all the other stuff. It's just somebody rolling in with a backpack full of money saying, check my action. Get the cash counter out. I got 10 G's in this bag and I want to drop it on the side sometimes. Based on those two reflections, this is the piece that a lot of people miss. What is the book? How are the books reacting? Sometimes we'll call it pros versus Joes. Sometimes we'll hear reverse line movement. Sometimes it'll all synchronize. But those are some of the indicators that we're looking for when it comes down to this. And right here we see 63% of the bets on the Dodgers. 86% of the cash on the Dodgers. And the movement is towards the Dodgers from -112 to now -127. Now that number started off low. No question about it. Low number to start things off. And a total that's gone from 7.5 with 97% of the bets and 90% of the cash on the over. And we're seeing that we've got some 8s out there with this game. So now as you're thinking about how to attack this one, a lot of it came down to me as playoff matchup. You know, I got the 7.5 at -105. It's an 8. I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think this hook matters. I'm happy with the number. I actually felt really good about the number I had because it hadn't moved all day long. And as I was looking at these two pitchers, yeah, you know what? We're very much in that situation right now. We've got a spot where we've got Max Fried, and you can see his 3.46 ERA. This is a Max Fried season. The guy heats up. He's an experienced veteran that can go out there and mow everybody down with the best of them. And if you look at his recent performance, yeah, he's 9-9. But keep in mind the Braves didn't have the best start of the season. He's 3.58 ERA at home. And I mentioned this is his season. You know, his last 5 games, 7 innings pitched against a big series with the Phillies. He only went 5 innings against the Twins, but they didn't need him. They crushed him 10-6. He got another follow-up. He went 7 more innings against the Phillies, which is super important because I just talked about the propensity for the team that's seeing the pitcher the second time through to be able to go and smash him. He didn't. They lost that game 3-0. He lost again. Then we got Toronto. 7 innings pitched against Toronto. Win 3-1. And then 6 innings against them Nats. It was a 5-1 loss. Now, he was out of that game. He let 4 earned runs up. So I don't attribute. They probably could have put him out there even more, but at that point, they were already fucked. So what was the difference? 4 Ks, 7 Ks, 4 Ks, 8 Ks, 6 Ks. Super capable to go out there and shut these guys down. And on the flip side of things, it's Yamamoto Day. And this dude's a gunner. 6-2 on the season, 3-1 on the road. He pitches better on the road than he does at home. Now, frankly, with these Japanese pitchers, they're always on the road, right? They're always road guys. But when we look at his recent performances, he's kind of been struggling to find his way, albeit he's not giving up runs, right? So he only went 4 innings his last start against the Cubs. Wasn't that the Yamamoto Imanaga matchup? He got hit 3 times, but he only let up 1 run. It wasn't earned, and he had 8 Ks. So he did his job in that game. Just couldn't get the bats to respond for him. KC, only went 2 innings. Had a hit out that game as well. And there was a huge gap in between there. So he's been gone for almost 3 months. It's that Cubs game that was his first game back. And he looked pretty fucking good in that first game back. So I expect this to be playoff matchup oriented. We do not have wiggle room if you're the Atlanta Braves trying to go out there and make these playoffs. And I think that we see this treated that way. I think this is an under game. We know the Braves have been an under team like crazy. Just think the stakes are a little bit higher now. Things have ratcheted up just a little bit more. Flea Mathis, do I condone the first half Eagles -3? No. The Eagles have notoriously started off slow, and slower. Hell, they were even down last week against them pitiful Green Bay Packers, right? We'll talk about it. We'll get there. We'll get there for sure. And I love you guys asking the questions because I've looked at, Iglesias in the 6 hole. I'm okay with that. I'm okay because he's priced like fucking crazy. The over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs was plus 165. His RBI number was 245 for being in the 6 hole. So I look at numbers all. I look at a lot of numbers, you guys. You got it. You figured me out. So I'm on the under in that Dodgers game to open up my baseball card. Let's keep her moving. Let's keep this thing going. Sucks that fucking overlays. Fuck. And I'm at this Detroit game. Now, spoiler alert. I took Kansas City. Now, I see they've got Reese Olson finally announced to go out there for Detroit because it was TBD like an hour and 15 minutes ago. And this number's gotten even better. I liked it before at -145. I took the -1, just so we're all transparent. I took the -1 at -105. But this number came all the way down to 128. So I jumped in on the money line. Yeah, essentially it's like I guess it's not really a -0.5, I guess, at that point. But I was looking at these two guys. Let me take this off the screen so you guys can see this. Well, you're not going to see Detroit side of things, but Reese Olson, he's got that 3.23 ERA on the season. And he's average at home versus away. The thing is, and the whole look for me with this game, how's this Detroit team left playing for? I mean, Reese Olson's found himself a couple of nice little wins, but he's not good on the road. And if you look at this Kansas City side of things here, this team has everything and then some to play for. Now, I guess they're not really officially out of it yet, right? I guess they're still kind of hanging in there. But another game that I thought, just kind of trying to isolate these two teams, I wanted to get the team that I thought, I don't want to just say they're the better team, but look, I started breaking this thing down. I looked at KC's recent performances, and I went back, 4 series? KC, they lost to the Yankees, right? They lost 2 games to 1 to the Yankees in that series. They beat up Pittsburgh 2-1. They beat up Minnesota 3-0 in a sweep. They got beat up by Cleveland, and they got beat up by Houston. My takeaway from that, as I extrapolated that information, well, they were getting busted up against good teams. Now, one of the reasons that they were getting busted up against good teams, and we talked about this last week, who were the guys that weren't hitting? One of the best hitters in baseball was Bobby Witt Jr. Couldn't find a way to get that bat on ball to save his life or to save his team's life. But his last 7 days, 6 games played, 6 hits. He's back on that hit per game ratio. He's got 5 RBIs in that span. I believe we cracked the code with Bobby Witt there. When he was in the dumps, we jumped in and took a Bobby Witt RBI. I think it was like plus 165, and he came through and knocked it to glory for us. And I mentioned, Lugo. Is he the best guy they have in the box? Yeah, maybe. He might be. I mean, you look at his numbers overall. Lugo's 16-8 on the season. He's got that 2.94 ERA overall. And he's 3.21 at home. So, you kind of get what you get. What you see is what you get with this guy in Seth Lugo. Now, clearly he's no Cole Reagans. I'm not a big fan of Alec Marsh, and I like that they've got Waka Waka kind of hanging out there down low, but we just talked about they play better against shit teams. I categorize Detroit as a shit team, despite being 77 and 73. You look at this thing and, Lugo was able to go out there and, despite kind of some of those struggles that he's had in the matchups, still a K machine. You look at it. He got, let's see. Let me pull it up. Where'd it go? Where'd my notes go? Where did they go? There they are. The Yankees game, 7 innings pitched. Cleveland, 7 innings pitched. Houston, 7 innings pitched. He only had a 5 spot out there against Philly, but Philly busted his ass up. It was 11-3. Angels, 7 innings pitched. So you got the better team with the better pitcher, and we have a series opener. What does Kansas City do at home in series openers? They're 16-8, so they're 2-1. And now we're getting them again at a -128. Yep. Stamp it. Triple-double stampy, that one for me. Yeah. I mean, if you get I already got the 7.5, and then I doubled back in on this Kansas City spot coin, so that's why I didn't go to. I might look to live bet it depending on what happens in the first 5 innings, but yeah, I'm with you. If you can get that 8, get the 8. I know it's DraftKings, I believe, that had the 8, so that's where I would play the game. Let's go. Crystal Keg says Iglesias is now batting leadoff. He should be. Let's look. Gets me jacked up that you guys are looking at some of these player props. I'll tell you, it sucks when I put them out there and somebody's not playing, because I'm not going to cancel the parlay, especially more often than not. We're already getting close to pitch off here. Yeah, there he is. The old number 1 hole. Oh shit. Wonder what his RBI price is right now. The best part about that is he's just going again. You know, he's going to get that extra potential at bat when we need it. Probably to drive her home at the end. So, wow. His RBI is all the way down to +165 now. What about his runs batted? Where's that? Let's go. Hits, runs. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go deep tonight. I can't find it just off the cuff like this. Total bases now. Alex Iglesias. Ooh, I'm hoping that was a good spot. What's going on there? What's going on with this screen? Anyways, let's go. No, Joe, under. Didn't you just hear me, Joe? Under. Let's go. If you can get 225 on that RBI, I'd grab it now. It's dropping. It's because of you guys being sharp. Told you guys, the sharpest chat in the game assembles here. They're on it for us. They're telling us what's going on out there. I like that. So just so we're on the same page, first game of the series, I like that. Before I even knew, I play action. I don't fuck around with the listed pitcher stuff. I mean, first 5s, you're always going to get listed pitcher anyways. I guess I shouldn't say always, but and so if I'm playing first 5, yeah, then more often than not, I'm looking at a pitching situation that's driving me to that perspective. But full games, I jump in. The pitcher doesn't play the full game. I know it's not a popular opinion amongst some of our connoisseurs of baseball, but I'm going to bet you it's probably, it's hard to say it's going to be a split, but just like we talked about earlier with systems, if you play the same system week in and week out, game in and game out, it's all going to work itself out at the end. So everybody plays it different, and that's fine. Let's talk about this Cubs game. We already got Bellinger listed in here, and we see this number skyrocketing now up to -200 for the Cubs. They've moved 12 cents from -188. We had 93% of the bets on the Cubs, and we have 83% of the cash on the Cubs. Now we have a total that's climbing, 94% of the bets and 92% of the cash on the over. It's gone from 7.5 to 8. And it's Emilio Estevez, with a 4.36 ERA and a shitty 7-7 on this guy's record. Flip side, it's Imanaga. He's 13-3. What's not to like about this guy here? But again, a playoff battle. Trying to target these playoff games, because at least I know we're going to get these guys trying, right? They're not just going to fuck around and put their hands up and get busted up because they start bringing in the outfielder always wanted to pitch an inning, and so now we're out of the season. Let's let him go pitch an inning. We're not going to see that kind of shit in this game. And can the Cubs make it? I mean, they're pretty far. They're pretty far out, right? Is it 5 games, something like that? And there's only 2 weeks left on the season. So I don't know, but I know that Estes got a 6.18 ERA on the road. I know that's not good. And I know he allows the opposing team to hit a 286. That ain't good either. He's gotten hit 6 or more times in his last 3 starts coming into the game. His over 5.5 hits number makes a lot of sense. Team I'm looking at here, I'm looking at the Cubs, and I'm looking at their team total. They scored 40 runs over their past couple of series over 6 games. I mentioned Bellinger being one of the hottest guys in baseball. I mentioned they're back on their home field, where we saw this be one of the number 1 scoring ballparks in Major League Baseball to start the season. And I think we lost that dippage a little bit in the middle of the season, but things are now starting to boomerang back to that spot out there. I don't know. I'm not laying 2-1 with the Cubs. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to lay -1 at -140. I don't care who wins this game. I just want to see runs. And I think we can get 5 from the Cubs here. Maybe it's even a little bit of an extended opportunity. I didn't go to the first 5 either. You'll see with this next game, maybe why I didn't go to the first 5. But yeah. Woo Rizza. It's a great comment. The A's are not hitting lefties. Not flush. Team total 4.5. Now 1.5 plus 110. Steaming, baby. Steaming, beaming. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. Stern Company likes Dallas Goddard. Anytime touchdown. Let's keep her moving, you guys. I always say we're gonna keep a brisk pace, but I enjoy spending time with you guys, man. This is like my out. This is my relief. Otherwise, I'm just fucking looking at numbers all day. Imagine that. Imagine doing that all day. I'm lucky to talk to the postman. He drops and runs now. He doesn't even park in front of my house anymore. I live on kind of a corner. He doesn't even park in front of my house. He just fucking darts his ass on down the street. Don't want to talk to me about baseball. I don't think he likes baseball, to be honest with you. And, hey, tell me not to like it. Just bet on it. That's all. Let's go back to the scene of the crime. It has been a bloody crime scene for me with this White Sox spot out there. We did see them Friday. We took the L, right? Friday, we had a pretty decent day. We caught a couple dubs. We split college basketball or college football. We swept WNBA. And I think we split baseball as well. But, look, we took the loss with the White Sox. And I'm chapped because I fucking said it. Plus money, and they're going on a 40-game losing streak. God, I missed it on Saturday. And I caught it yesterday, so I was a little happier about that. But here we go. The White Sox and Angels. The Angels open up at -185. They've moved to -190. It's weird. I'm like a small child. When this shit starts moving around a little bit, I get, oh, look, is it doing that? It's not doing that for you guys, I bet. 93% of the bets, but only 72% of the cash on the Angels. So this is one of those situations where I look at this line and I think, everybody loves the Angels. Why wouldn't you? You know how fucking awful you guys know how bad the White Sox are. But then I see the cash and I see it's 72% of the cash, which means there's a small pocket of some bigger bettors out there that love this number at +166 for the White Sox. The total's dropping. The total's gone from 8.5s to 8s, which is reverse line movement because we have 95% of the bets and 94% of the cash on this over. Looking at this game, it's easy first blush to go, oh, you know what? I'll parlay the Cubs and the Angels. They're both -200s. What could go wrong? Well, after a guy that played the hip to be square all last season, I can tell you plenty can go wrong. We were lucky to sneak out of that thing. I think I was down like maybe a unit. I can't remember the exact number, but I know it wasn't as glorious as you would think it was, which makes sense, right? That's why we're not the big -190 shop around here. The thing is, though, when you look at this game and you kind of look at some of these numbers and some of these trends, I'll tell you this. Well, let me start with Detmers. He's got that 5.64 ERA. He's pitching at home. He's just bad wherever he goes. He's got a 5.77 ERA at home. He's 1-4. He just starts so shitty that the team can't recover behind him. He did get 8 Ks his last game, but he got hit 5 times. He walked 2 dudes as well. So command and control issues I expect for some Detmer situation here. flip side, I mean, if you look back at some of his previous starts, September 3rd, he goes 6 innings against the Dodgers. September 9th, he goes 6 innings against the Twins. But before that, 3.2 innings against that Seattle team that was hitting a sub-2 ERA or sub-2 batting average, BAA. He goes 5 innings against Cleveland. He goes 4 innings against Houston. Now, clearly, we know this White Sox team is not that, but look at Cannon. Now, Cannon's been struggling. He's got the 4.56 ERA. Excuse me. But he's 4.94 on the road. You guys have seen me break these numbers down enough as we look at these things here. What are we getting from Cannon? We're getting 5 innings. 6, 4, 5, 5.2, 5.1. And what are we seeing from his Ks? 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4. I mean, he's consistent. He pitches to a lot of contact, gives up a lot of runs. If you look at his run, I mean, it's not glorious, right? 5 earned runs, 4 earned runs, 1 against Baltimore. They won that game. And 3 against Cleveland. But when you look at these two pitchers side by side, you can't justify the difference. You can't tell me that there's enough of a difference between these guys that these numbers should be as wide as they are. Shout out to my guy, Subhuman Gaucho, talking about the wide numbers. We're not playing the drinking game here, though, this afternoon. We're looking to play the kick the bookie in the face game. And I'll tell you a couple things that I looked at. Yeah. I know. Am I a sucker for punishment? Apparently. But I'll tell you this. The Angels are 11-1 to the under their last 12 games. They're not hitting. When we look at it, they've lost 5 games in a row. They're 1-7 in their last 8. They're 3-10 in their last 13. The White Sox just handled that Oakland series 2-1. And if you remember, that Oakland team, one of the hottest hitting baseball teams since the All-Star break. So now it's Oakland, and let's not get all excited. It's not like they beat the Yankees in that spot. But look, it's back-to-back wins for this team. And how about this one? Game 1 of a series for the LA Angels. If you fade them, boys, you're 33-10. 33-10 to the fade. Coin flip between the pitchers. One team's just gotten the ominous black cloud over their head has dissipated, and they're seeing a little bit of sunshine for the first time in 150 games. I think this is good money at 160 and 166. You can take the halves, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't. The reason I'm not taking the plus 1.5, and I mean, it's like minus 110 or minus 115. Nah. Because to shout at the Kelly V, but if they lose, they're probably losing by like 4. I like this to be a tight game. I want this money in my back pocket. Dale Fick, as much as I love the number, I don't love the White Sox. I think they're the little sisters of Chicago. I've said that for years. But at 166, for all the reasons we just talked about, with the 11-1 trend of the under, with the fade of LA Angels in game 1 at home, and with pitchers that are right there, I don't know. If I got to take the L and it's just me, okay. If I take the win and it's just me, shame on you. Shame on all of you. That's all I got to say. Give you guys the numbers. Try to be as unbiased as possible. But, yeah, look, sometimes some of these things just add up. And that adds up to me. Let's go to this last game for baseball. Then we'll talk some NFL, and we'll get everybody up out of here. Appreciate everybody that's been hanging out. If you haven't done so already, smash the thumbs up button. I don't even want to ask what the count is. I appreciate you guys that screenshot and sent me your thumbs up button. It made me laugh. You guys are the real ones, man. Taking the time to do that was a good chuckle when I got done. I was like, I appreciate that. I was talking to my brother about it. I gave you guys the shout out by name. I was like, I love these guys, man. Taking the time to do that means a lot for us as we try to build and grow this thing. So, but we need everybody's help, man. You got to get out there and support my guy, Ramon Scott. Morning steam. What a better way to wake up than the soothing sounds of Ramon Scott. And final chirping in the background because you know he's been making that money on some of that KBO. So make sure you check that stuff out and smash the thumbs up button for him as well. We got the Astros and the Padres game. Last game on the MLB card for me. Woo! Movement, and more movement out there. This line opened up at minus 148 for huge garbage. I mean, you Darvish, and he's now minus 115. Pros versus Joe's alert. 69% of the bets on the Padres, 63% of the cash on the Astros. Then we got a total. Everybody loves the over. Starting to drop. 99% of the bets, 89% of the cash on the over 8 in this game. Playoff matchup. Another one of them games. 81-68 Stros, 85-65 Fathers. And we got, look, nothing pretty about what Spencer Arrighetti's been doing. He's 7-12. He's got a 4.72 ERA. It swells to 5.22 on the road. But his last start was against that Oakland team. He goes 6.2 innings. He get touched up, but he's been a pitch to contact guy. We know that. 7 hits, only 2 earned runs, but 7 Ks. Flip side, huge garbage. Yeah, he's 5-3 with a 3.52 ERA, but he's 4.29 at home, so he swells at home. His last game was I guess he's got 2 starts under his belt now, right? He came back after going out May 29th against the Marlins, only had 3 innings pitched. His first game back, he went 2 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 4 Ks. His last game against Seattle, 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 homers as well. Command and control. I don't know. I know our guy Dabby Cap loves him some Yu Darvish. I don't know why. Maybe last season, I guess. But that's my boy. So if he wants to have his man crush, then I respect that. But not for me. I was looking at this game and I thought to myself, again, playoff matchup. What do I think about playoff matchups? Well, I think we see a shit ton of unders. And I love this 8. But I got this earlier at 120. Now it's down. It's down to 105s, right? Teams on a heater in the first game of a series stay on a heater. They're 8-2 in their last 10. 8-2 in their last 10 are teams on a heater. It's 236 and 127 overall. Now we talked about this being Stroh's season. How do you define a heater? Well, they won 4 games and they just swept that series against the Angels. That's a team on a heater. Then you look at the other side of this thing and we kind of see what the Padres are doing. We just talked about huge garbage. What's he going to do out there? He's probably going to give up some hits, would be my guess. And then we look at this team, and yeah, they just swept San Francisco, but they're leaving San Francisco. I believe that is where the asterisk comes into play for this team. Seems like I remember my guy Nutflesh talking about teams that leave San Francisco and some of them challenges. So I went after this one with a double dipper as well. And this is why I said early in the show, there's a couple plays that I took in certain ways that I didn't want to chase after him again. I did chase after that Kansas City spot. I'm not chasing after the Dodgers because my score has that Dodgers game 3-1 or 3-2. So I don't need to go back and hit that 8 again just to get a push. There's too much risk or exposure in that. But for me to double dip the Kansas City game at -1 made sense because if they win by 1, now I'm winning that bet that I already placed. If you kind of follow that theory or that logic, I wanted to take that first 5 under in the White Sox, but frankly, I want the White Sox to kick this shit out of them. I don't care how they do it. I don't care if it's in the first 5 or the full game. So I didn't want to get involved with the unders in that game. But this game, with these pitchers who have been playing subpar at best, with the Houston spot, with the team on a heater at 236 and 127, and a playoff atmosphere where I do believe we see these pitchers come out and perform. The Houston and under 8 spot at +295 was damn good enough to make that grandma wearing your sister's panties again play of the day. Coin says San Diego, home after a 4-1 roadie. Teams on a heater. Teams on a heater. Makes sense? Does it make a difference if I put it in the chat? All right, let me do that. Let me do that if it gives it a little more authenticity for you guys. KV, there she's chiming in again. Winner, 9 of 10 run line. Winners, Houston and San Diego. Series trends over 2. Yeah, it just felt like it was too easy to take the over. Sometimes you look at these games and we sit on them, like I said, all day, and we see 8s down to 7.5s. Well, if it should be runs, what's going on here? Yeah, J-Dub, I know. And originally I thought about his under 4.5 Ks. but it's catching steam. So putting all those together made a lot of sense to me for that game. Like I said, I'm a double dipper. Let's talk some NFL, and then let's get everybody up out of here. We all got things to do tonight for Monday Night Football. Jacked the fuck up for some Falcons and Eagles game. Real quick for you guys here. I'm going to keep her tight. Keep this because you know who I like. You know my team. But let's dismay some myths here. This line opened up at -4. It shot up to 6.5. Only today has it come back to 5.5. 56% of the bets and 67% of the cash on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I hear you guys saying all the public's on the Eagles. I disagree. Here's why, respectfully. The Eagles have had brain fart there. Wide receiver. Why can't I think of his name offhand here? And Brown, right? Out. A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is terrible. He's been out since Friday. How do I know that? Because he's on my fantasy team, and I took his ass out on Friday. And I remember saying to my buddy, at least they did this the right way, and I don't have to wait until Monday night to find out I'm fucked and need to go find a replacement wide receiver. So now, after we've gone through that huge college slate, we've gone through that huge NFL slate yesterday. Now, everyone's like, oh, Brown's out. He's fucking been out. And so now the lines come down to 5.5. Start there. You want to look at this previous game and you want to talk about the Eagles' challenges. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. Jalen Hurts throws 2 interceptions. He fumbles once as well. I told you guys this last week. A new offensive coordinator, a new running back, a new center, a full power run, a full change in game plans, focusing on a power run with a strong eye running back in Saquon Barkley. There's going to be some growing pains, and I think we saw that evidence last week in that first half. But what they do in that second half almost took the Packers' helmets off and beat them with them. Now, we talked about how soft the Packers are. We saw just that. Cupcakes. Jordan Love. Cupcake. Now, that was a tough-looking knee injury, but let's not forget it's a primetime game. I don't care if he's on a new team or not. Kirk Cousins is 3-10 on Monday Night Football primetime spots. Hurts, 8-1-1 at home in primetime spots. Here's my estimation. I said this earlier today. I don't know that anybody, maybe hopefully you guys looked into it. Something ain't right with Kirk Cousins' ankle. And it has to do with that Achilles factor, right? Guy's coming back from Achilles surgeries. And, we saw, Aaron Rodgers is able to do it, but it's a tricky thing. It's a delicate position to come from. That's why they drafted Michael Penix Jr., number 8 overall out of Washington. That was a huge grab for this Atlanta Falcons team. He can't shuffle when he drops back out of the pocket. That is Kirk Cousins. So he's bad on Monday night. He's recovering from the stiff and sore ankle. I tell you what, I had an ankle injury. I was mowing my lawn earlier today. Fucking lawnmower got going too quick. Heard something pop. Now it's not swollen, but as we get older, these injuries are more difficult to recover from. When the Eagles play on primetime as home favorites going back to 2016, they're 11-6-1 overall. And there's a slew of numbers to the under. There's a ton of them. The Eagles are 6-0 to the under when they got less than 15 days rest in the primetime game spot. The Falcons, after shitting the bed and only putting up 10 points, are 6-0 to the under as well. But they've had extra time off. They did come back from Brazil. They got that extra little day of bump rest inside of their advantage. And we're dealing with a mash unit on that Falcon side of things in their defense as well. Landman, Hamilton, Eifler, Heltons, and Burns. Well, Burns is a running back, but the other 4 dudes are linebackers, safeties, and a cornerback. Yikes. Now, I'm not excited. Now, Bradbury, the cornerback for the Eagles, they're trying to trade this piece of shit before the season started, but nobody wanted him because he's a piece of shit. Now he ends up on the injured reserve. Is that a big loss? No, they were making plans to move on without him anyways. Sidney Brown, safety. That's why they have some secondary challenges. Now, the way I look at this game, and as I was thinking about how I expected to unveil for us, you look at what happened last week, the Falcons and Pittsburgh game. I mean, is there any argument that the Eagles squad is better than the Pittsburgh team in general, across the board, regardless of new coaches? I mean, we saw Justin Fields go out there and run wild on the Falcons. We also saw the Eagles, once they figured things out, made their adjustments at halftime, went out there and whooped the shit out of them Packers. So put it all together for me in this game. The way I expect it to unfold, the way I expect it to go down here is not a good first half because the Eagles always find a way to come back. But I think if you're taking that Falcons plus 5.5, you've steam chased. You probably missed the best of the number. We saw that last night with the Bears game. It was plus 6.5. It moved down to 6. Some 5.5s out there. And if you took the 5.5, you lost. If you got the early number, you won. I pegged this as around a 6. I pegged this game as a potential overtime factor as well. 12-1 on that overtime number. I'm not excited about what I'm going to see here from the first half. I don't expect it to be a glorious stomping and ass kicking, curb stomping as it will. But I was looking at these game plans. Terrell Jr., maybe the best cornerback out there for the NFL, plays on defense for the Falcons. With no A.J. Brown, he's going to now square up against Devonta Smith, who's probably the best route runner in the NFL. So is he going to go out there and bust up 6, 7, 8 touches? I don't know. But the way I went at this thing here is I parlayed. For those that don't know, Robinson's a Philly guy. He's been dealing with the ticket factor. I think he had to get like 20 or 25 tickets for family and friends. They're going to dose this fucking guy and try to get him to go run and gun this game. And I think he will, because I do believe that D-line for the Eagles is still trying to learn. They're still growing pains. They've got Georgia and Alabama college football players that are playing that D-line, still trying to get timing and adjustments and shifts down to the big game. I expect a heavy dose of Robinson. They want him to get the touchdown. I even like Robinson to get the first touchdown. But I went to Goddard, and here's why for this parlay. So you see Robinson to get a touchdown parlayed with Goddard, because Goddard fits that middle of the fold. So you got Saquon Barkley as the flat runner. What did we see last week? I talked about this earlier. 2 held field goals in a row for the Green Bay Packers. Once they finally needed it, Saquon shifts his ass out to the flat. He runs straight down the sideline, and they thread the fucking needle perfect, like a baby into mama's hands, right on that fucking end zone for a beautiful touchdown, first one of Saquon Barkley's career. So they got the flat package down. Well, if you got the best cornerback in the NFL to be able to stop your route runner, and you got the flat guy because you can kind of figure, okay, we got to cover that. We saw how that exploited him last week with 3 touchdowns. Who's that leave? Dallas Goedert. He's the middle guy. He's the up and across the middle for a 6-yard touchdown pass guy. We look at some of these numbers last week from the Falcons, and they struggled in regards to that secondary. Now, we saw that, there was 17 total passes, I believe was the number for the Atlanta Falcons last week. Not the Falcons, the Steelers. 4 of them went to the tight end. It's a softness. It's a vulnerability. It's an open spot, and you got to pick your battle. Do you let Saquon run rampant on your ass? Do you let the route runner go cut your asses up? No, you got to play those positions and hope that Dallas Goedert just doesn't have it. I think he does have it. So I'm going to parlay those 2 touchdowns together. I think there's certainly another expectation. Don't be surprised if by the 4th quarter, Penix Jr. comes out there and starts throwing that ball around. Don't be surprised. I don't know if it's injury. I don't know if they're just disappointed with how Kirk Cousins is playing in prime time. But that's the way I'm going to give it to you guys. That's the way I'm serving her up. Like a fucking cheesesteak on a Friday night at 3 a.m. after you've been cocktailing down in Old City all night long. Go Eagles, fly. We're taking that -1.5. We're taking a touchdown parlay with Robinson and Goddard at plus 495. And that's how I want to get paid tonight, you guys. Appreciate everybody hanging out, rocking with us. Man, we had a ton of great views in here tonight. I appreciate that, man. Thank you guys all for stopping by. If you could hit the thumbs up button on your way out the door, show the support. Let's get that money. We got ourselves a nice big plus money card tonight. We're rooting for them White Sox. We're rooting for them Astros. We're rooting for the Astros in the under. We're rooting for that parlay. It's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. We'll be back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. You know the deal. Pre-gaming, sports money. But open your day up with my man, Ramon Scott in the morning steam. Starting up the Stirring Company, Joseph Alvarado, KV, Trap God, Johnny C, Dustin. I love you guys. Thank you all for coming in. Phil the Kill. Let's go. Phil the Kill. Just for what it's worth, my lawnmower does not go 1 mile per hour. That push mower goes at least 10 miles per hour. I ratcheted it down because I was tired of it taking as long as it did to cut the lawn. Let's go. I appreciate all you guys, man. I love you guys. Thank you for coming out, rocking with us. Thank you. I see Nutflush Allen. I see Voodoo Ranger, Cliff Yang, Oldie, Steve Bailey, Mud Dog, J Dub. Let's get this money, you guys. Good luck with everybody's bets tonight. Coin, Boogie, Maine, Joe T, Justin McCalvey, and the Stacks. Play of the day. It is me versus Justin McCalvey. If you think it's not going to be an Eagles night, stop it. Stop it. Go get yourself some cocktails. Get those bets placed. Get your